Greetings, all you Jacks and Jennets, and welcome to your Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you the BugCap from the Buccaneers game. Bugga, you're in the house. How's it going?
Good!
Was it really fun? Not only do we get a BugCap, we get an in-person perspective of what happened in the Buccaneers game. As Bugga, you got to go to your first ever Steelers game, right?
Yeah!
And we got to see something that was a first for me, a first for any standing Steelers fan in Steelers Nation. That is a win at Acrisure Stadium as the Steelers come out 20-18 victors. What were your thoughts? Just talk. How'd you feel about the game?
Good!
Good? Were you excited?
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite part about being in person for a Pittsburgh Steeler football game? What's your favorite part?
Seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers win.
Seeing them win, that was fun. I saw you get in there. You did some chants. You did some defense chants. You got yourself a foam finger to wave out there. Is that a good time for you?
Yeah.
Yeah? You got to have a hot dog, some popcorn, a pizza,
Yeah.
soda pop. Just don't tell your mama. Shh. It's our secret. But yeah, we're going to wrap up the first ever Pittsburgh Steelers regular season win at Acrisure Stadium, beating Tom Brady and those Buccaneers. Lots of good things to talk about, some bad things to talk about. Exciting stuff. I mean, you got to get a visit from the Tooth Fairy that night because you decided to lose a tooth in the middle of the game, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Tell me, what was the most exciting thing to you about just being in Acrisure Stadium? I mean, we went through the FedEx Great Hall, or I guess it's called now. I was used to it as Coca-Cola. We saw the replica Lombardi trophies. We saw the replica of Pitt's national championship. We got to see Charlie Batch and Stan Savern doing their pregame show. You got to see the field, walk around the stadium, get some food. What was your favorite part of the whole experience? Well, grinning ear to ear doesn't help people as they can't see you. Only I can see you. Maybe next time we'll put up a webcam so you can see your reactions. But he's out here grinning ear to ear. I guess it was a great experience for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have fun with Uncle Lasker's Uncle Zoidy? The people who came with us to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good times. How about walking down the river, getting to see all the water, the skyline? We got to walk in front of PNC Park. Just a good time for you?
Yeah.
All right. How about the football game itself? Exciting. Steelers win. Wire-to-wire win. We never trailed in the game. Is that what you like to see?
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get into what the BugCap is really about. We're supposed to break down what we saw. How about a first drive touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Something that had not been done since November of last year in the Detroit game. And guess who was quarterback? And then that would have been Mason Rudolph throwing a touchdown to James Washington, current member of the Dallas Cowboys. Kind of nice to see a first drive touchdown, a first quarter touchdown led by Kenny Pickett throwing the ball to Najee Harris. You got some Kenny chants still in you? Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny. Neither here nor there, as Kenny Pickett unfortunately ends up getting hurt because one of the few lackluster things from this game, and I think we need to talk about it, is for the first time all year, the offensive line, which had been playing okay, was really a detriment to the team. They couldn't run block. They were struggling in pass blocking. They get Kenny Pickett hurt because Dotson misses a huge block, and Dotson just had himself a terrible game. Like 3 penalties, killed multiple drives, couldn't seem to block anyone, just not something you wanted to see from the offensive line. Lackluster play from the running backs. I mean, under 3 yards of carry, I think, again. Not the greatest offensive performance from them. Mitch came in, struggled his first couple drives, but then something magical happens. And not only does he convert a long third down, he finds a wide open Connor Hayward that ends up setting up the Chase Claypool touchdown as the Buccaneers couldn't get their people off the field, blew a coverage. Huge change in the game that played to Hayward, followed by a touchdown to Claypool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you give the offense, it looks like the passing game does okay. The running game struggles. Zoidy, when he was talking to me before the game, says you're going to see it. The receivers don't get separation. And for as talented as these receivers are supposed to be, they don't get any separation, do they? They were covered pretty tight the whole game. They were covered tight the whole game, though, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't getting separation there. But you know what? 20 points is the second most of points allowed by that Buccaneers defense, a really good unit out there. So something good to be said there. Like I said, the O-line was a liability. Specifically, Dotson's the guy I wanted to point out. Mitch came up clutch coming in for an injured Kenny Pickett leading that touchdown drive. Really good to see Mitch get out there and being willing to throw the ball down the field, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to talk specifically on the offense you saw that you thought was exciting, or you're just happy to be here?
Happy to be here.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough. The two huge positives I want to point out this week were Chase Claypool, huge third down conversions, huge touchdowns, great catches on the sideline, great catches in traffic. Chase Claypool showed up like rookie Chase Claypool, which is something the Steelers need going forward, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a huge game out of him. And being able to get the ball with 5 minutes left and run the clock out so Tom Brady doesn't get to touch the ball again when down only 2 points. An amazing feeling for the offense, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get on to special teams. I mean, Presley Harvin, when he's backed up on his own goal line, boots out a 50-plus yarder, his best punt of the day. But then very mediocre punting the rest of the day. Thank goodness Tampa Bay let a few of the balls roll because they made them look good. But punting the ball, special teams, okay. Kicking the ball, Boswell did exactly what he needed to do. I mean, a 55-yarder that just donks off the goalpost and goes in was super exciting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were cheering hard when that ball bounced the right way, weren't we? Yeah. And what else do we have to talk about special teams? Oh, how could we forget? Steven Sims, the huge game breaker for the Steelers. Big kick returns, big punt returns. The kick return to start the second half that set up the field goal. Really big, don't you think? Great play by Steven Sims. Yeah. Before we get into the defense and them shutting down this Tampa Bay offense, I want to talk about one huge mistake that I think the Steelers had. At the end of the half, we go out and we try to... Tampa Bay has 2 timeouts. We're backed up a little bit. On first down, we decide to throw the ball. Fine, we're being aggressive. But then the next 2 plays, we decide to just run the ball. So we stop being aggressive. You either have to be aggressive or not, right, Micah? You can't just sit in the middle. You got to pick a side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the aggressive call to start, but then that happens. We punt to Brady, give him the ball at the 50, play prevent to let him get the ball into field goal range. Really fortunate for us that we end up winning by 2 points and not losing by a single point because that field goal we gave up at halftime where the Steelers just seemed to be in absolute disarray of what they were doing, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, those things get overlooked. I want to make sure I pointed out, but those are things that can get overlooked if we win the game because it ends up not being a detriment. Now we get to talk about the Steelers' defense. I mean, we're talking a secondary where the only starter in there is Terrell Edmunds. Thank goodness he was back. He had a big game, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was out there tackling Fournette all day. But you're talking Norwood has to play. Riley has to play. He who shall not be named, James Pierre, has to play. Josh Jackson elevated off the practice squad. More time for Alistair Mallette. You saw Robert Spillane playing slot corner. How did that defense shut down Tom Brady, Micah? You're as confused as everybody else in the world? I mean, Brady has a plethora of good athletes out there in Evans, Godwin, and they just can't seem to get it going. A couple notes I want to say is Alex Highsmith is looking like a pretty good edge rusher, but in terms of setting the edge on running plays, he might be one of the worst run-stopping outside linebackers I've ever seen. Maybe he becomes more of just a pass rush specialist, because that seems to be what he is right now. Comes up with a huge sack, forced fumble towards the end of the half, but watching him on rundowns is painful. I just want to point that out, but watching him on pass downs is a thing of beauty. Obviously, that whole secondary gets a thumbs up for being able to shut down a Brady-led offense to only 1 touchdown. That was huge, right, Micah?
Yeah.
I mean, we got the Bugaboo here telling us everything. Big shout-out to the pigeons on the field, because anyone who watched the game, pigeons were pretty fun to see flying around there. Remember when there's just a huge group of them out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a unique thing. And then some players on the defense I want to point out, because shutting down this Tampa Bay offense, while they haven't really scored over 21 points very often this year, I think only once, and that was in their loss to Kansas City, they still have a lot of playmakers. Brady was missing some throws short. He didn't look on, which is good. Got in his face, made a little bit of pressure. But there are some guys who definitely need to talk. Chris Wormley and Larry Ogunjobi made some huge plays. Arthur Millette was making huge plays. Terrell Edmunds was down there on the line. I specifically want to point out Wormley because in the fourth quarter, on the 3rd-and-1 drive where we stopped him and forced a punt, it was Wormley who got back there and made the play. And on the 3rd-and-1 quarterback sneak, I know they converted the 4th down, but the 3rd-and-1 quarterback sneak who never stops Brady, it was Wormley who dove down there and stopped all penetration. I know PFF didn't like Wormley, but I'll tell you right now, Wormley played huge and clutch in that fourth quarter. Him and Ogunjobi played huge and clutch in the backfield. I mean, you can't say Cam had a good game, but I think those two guys really stepped up and played, don't you think?
Yep.
And all the Devin Bush haters have to get off the train at least for this week. Devin Bush balled out, made some plays, and arguably the most important play in the game is the 2-point conversion. Chris Godwin's running a shallow cross. He's about 2 steps ahead of Devin Bush. Devin Bush turns on the Jets, knocks the ball away, keeps the score 20-18, which is the biggest play in the game, you could say, because Trubisky goes out there, makes a great run, looks more athletic than any of our running backs, making the great run to get the conversion, or to get the first and 10 to 2nd and 1, and then converts the quarterback sneak to the next play. Those were huge in the time-killing drive, but we have to score there if it's not for Devin Bush. I mean, great game for Devin. It's great to see the former first-rounder show out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my recap of the game. I mean, all in all, great play by that defense, stopping big plays from Tampa's offense, and I think that was the key. You stop big plays. A team like the Steelers can't afford to be playing from behind, so first quarter, specifically first drive touchdowns are going to be huge. Everything went right for the Steelers to win this game, except for the end of the first half, which was terrible. But all in all, maybe no one really sticks out. Maybe no unit was perfect, but the game itself, the game plan itself, the players' execution, the players making plays when it needs to be done, whether it was Trubisky, Claypool, Wormley, Ogunjobi, Bush, Terrell Edmonds, you name who you want. When a play needed to be made this week, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers making the play, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we get a lot of first out of the way. Bugaboo, your first ever game. Daddy and your first ever win we see at Acrisure Stadium. The Steelers' first ever win at Acrisure Stadium. Kenny Pickett's first ever touchdown. Kenny Pickett's first ever win. I mean, there were so many firsts in this game. It was just a great environment to be a part of. It was a great thing to be a part of. How did you feel? Were you excited? Did you think it was great?
Yeah.
Yeah? Anything you want to give a specific shout out to? Thank Uncle Laskers and Uncle Zoidy for taking you? Just say thanks.
Thanks.
There you go. Any shout outs you want to give? Any player you thought was above and beyond and deserves a shout out from you or anything? Or just a shout out to the whole Steelers for making it a fun environment?
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the whole Steelers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did have a great time. How about we tell the Steelers they need to invite you to every game because you're a lucky charm and you keep winning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? All right, last thoughts on the game. What you have to say? All right, he doesn't really want to talk, but he says he enjoyed his first game. He had a great win. He told me to leave it. I'm going to leave you with knowing that hell of a job by a defense, especially a secondary made up of no-names. Special shout-out to the Pigeons. I don't do shout-outs on this normally, but my shout-out has to be the Pigeons. They were very entertaining out there, and who knows, maybe distracting Tom Brady. And watching Tom Brady get flustered, have to yell at people, and just look off against the Steelers team was really, really fun for me. I enjoyed everything about it being there. I enjoyed you being there, buddy. It was awesome. Anything you got to say to these people? Okay, at the end you have to say, here we go, when I say what I forgot. Okay? Well, Donk Nation, Steeler Nation, you need to tune in. We still have the Power Ranking show that I'm probably going to do tomorrow. We still have the Steelers Talk with Gingy and Laskers hopefully this week to break down their thoughts of this game and next week's upcoming game at Miami. But Donk Nation, Steeler Nation, I love you. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to let you know you can reach me at Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch or Twitter. Your Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger's YouTube channel. Leave us a like, leave us a follow, leave us a comment, subscribe so you get the notifications. Let us know what you think. I hope you love this segment. I love doing it. Bug's really entertaining with his one-word answers, even though he told me he'd be more 2 words today. But hey, you know what it is? A Steeler win feels great. Wave them if you got them.